Hey, what's Mayo? Hey, what's Flynn? He's purring. Look at that happy boy. Okay. Today's topic is 7 steps to tap out from energy. And if you want to read this in blog form instead, you can read this in blog form. I will link it below. I will apologize now because I have my little orange cat Flynn is here and he'll probably be walking around throughout the entire video, and my dog Tramp is also here. Okay, Flynn, we gotta stay focused, buddy. Okay. So a lot of people, when they encounter a vibe or an energy that they don't like, they have this tendency to just get frustrated or mad, and that sucks them deeper into the vibe. But another option is we can recognize the vibe and then tap out of it and stay away from it and not engage. There's a quote that I see online sometimes of observe, don't absorb. I really love that quote for being an empath or stuff like this. You can observe it and choose to not absorb it and choose to not step into it. Step 1 is you want to consciously recognize what you want to tap out of. Tapping out of something, you first got to acknowledge what it is, whether that's a vibe, an energy, a mood that you're in, a mood that someone else is in. For the purpose of all of this, I'm going to mostly just talk about that you recognize someone else is in a mood and they're projecting a bad vibe that you don't like. I'm going to build off of an example throughout this entire video. Flynn! He's rubbing all over my computer. So the example that I'm building off of today is that you are home in a good mood, vibing, everything's cool, and your spouse comes home and they're not in a good mood. They're not in a good mood, they're projecting a bad vibe, and you recognize that. And you don't want to be sucked into it, you don't want to be a part of it, but you recognize it and you're like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. I can feel myself getting sucked in. How can I stop this? A clue that you may be mirroring someone else's bad vibe or their bad energy is that as soon as they come into the room, you feel it and you're like, ooh. But sometimes we can get sucked in immediately without meaning to, just because we're an empathetic person. This is also much harder if you really care for this person. Just having them around you may affect your energy. Just thinking of them may affect your energy. Just talking to them may affect your energy. You may instantly just start mirroring the vibe that they're in without meaning to. But you can still catch yourself and you can still change that and tap out of the energy. Initially, though, like I said, step 1 is you just gotta acknowledge what energy you don't want to be a part of anymore. You gotta look at them and know how a person or a place or a vibe is affecting you, and you gotta know, I don't like that, I wanna tap out. Step number 2 is choose to tap out of the energy that you've identified. Rather than getting angry, getting frustrated, spiraling into this vibe that you see, getting frustrated with the person who brought the energy near you, rather than engaging in any of those things, you can just peacefully remove yourself and step away. So building on this example that I was talking about before, your spouse came home, they're in a bad vibe, you feel affected by it. Instead of arguing with them or blaming them or something, you can just remove yourself and get back to doing things that make you feel good, get back to the vibe that you were in. There are a lot of ways to tap out of energy, and I'm really not going to go into too many details of all of the different ways you can tap out of energy, but it's so important to identify and consciously decide that you want to tap out. You have to stay solid on that intention, at least. In the very, very least. You don't have to be super aware of everything else. But if you're a total beginner, you acknowledge it, you don't like it, and now you have a solid intention of, I'm not engaging and I'm tapping out of this energy. Number 3 is trust that they will be okay. A lot of us people who have bleeding hearts and care so much for other people, we easily just end up empathizing and getting sucked into their vibes with them. And this is because we want to help. We want to make it better. And part of tapping out of energy, and especially in terms of people that we really love and care for, when we tap out of their energy, we have to trust that they're going to be okay. We have to trust that they can handle it on their own, and they will be okay. Because even though we really want to help out people in our life, at the end of the day, they're only going to solve those problems if they can figure out a way to solve it, right? We can help, we can care, we can do so many things to help people that we love, but at the end of the day, we do have to trust them to handle it and fix it on their own. Trust that people are equipped to handle their own life and their own problems, and then maybe you won't feel so drawn to helping carrying everyone else's weight. That is an important layer of tapping out, because when you tap out, you may feel a little bit guilty, or you may feel things of like, but I want to help them get out of this mood. You don't have to. You can totally just step away. Trust that they will be okay. Step 4 is space, time, and distance. After you choose to remove yourself from a vibe or a situation, the easiest way to tap out is just to give it space. You can literally physically give it space, give it time, give it some distance, and that vibe will lessen on its own. That person will take care of whatever their turmoil is on their own, and you can step away into your own energy. So, for example, your spouse may have unloaded a bunch of their stress onto you, venting about their crazy day, and it did affect you. It brought you down as well. And so afterwards, you need to take some time to yourself to step away, to cool off, to recenter, to get back to doing things that feel uplifting, and maybe your spouse needs to do the same thing. Maybe you both need a little cool off. Space and time and distance do so much. We just have to be patient. Sometimes storms blow through and we just have to be patient to let them blow past. Let it blow past. Don't engage with the storm. Let it blow past. Number 5 is distraction and redirection. I will preface this by saying that not all escapism is healthy, and distraction should not be used excessively all the time. Escapism and distraction are something that can be really easily abused, but we don't want to avoid everything in life because we would end up missing out on so many wonderful things. If we avoided all emotion, we'd miss out on the good stuff. That being said, distraction is a wonderful and healthy tool if you're using it consciously. Going back to our example before, you have now stepped away from your spouse, they are off to go deal with their own stuff, and you're stepping away to go do your own thing. And while you're in this place of distraction and redirection, as I titled this, you could go take a bath. You could put on a calming scent in your space. You could put on mood-lifting music or calming music. You could take time out of your day to pamper yourself, do hobbies that you enjoy, just go back to doing whatever you were doing before they got home and interrupted your peace. There are so many options. The point with redirection and distraction is to bring your energy back to you. Recenter yourself, bring your vibe back to you, bring your attention back to you, and retransform back into the vibe you were in before your spouse interrupted you, or whoever interrupted your vibes. Recenter back into you. And remind yourself that it's not selfish to take breaks, it is not selfish to take care of yourself, and self-love is not selfish. You are absolutely allowed to have you time in life. Number 6 is re-encounter and stay tapped out. So often in life, we re-encounter the same toxic energies over and over and over and over. And this is often because work or school or home or a relationship or whatever it may be is maybe not the healthiest environment, doesn't have the healthiest vibes. This is so common with everyone. You 99.9% will re-encounter whatever that vibe was that you're trying to tap out of. So when you re-encounter bad vibes, just get really quick about identify. That's a bad vibe. Decide, I'm not encountering this. I am staying tapped out. And then redirect to your own vibes or whatever you were doing. And the more that you do that, which is step number 7, consistency. The more that you do this, the more consistent you stay at identifying, not engaging, tapping out, staying centered, you will get better and better and better and better. Keep making yourself a priority. Keep recognizing when an energy or emotion actually belongs to someone else and isn't yours to carry. Keep practicing, keep being conscious and mindful of the energy in and around you, and stay consistent with the intentions that align with who you are. And that is the system that I wrote up for how to tap out from energy. Tapping out of energy can be something really complex. There are so many different spiritual or energetic ways that you can tap out of energy. But this is a bare minimum, really, really simple thing that beginners can follow, and it's all just being aware, recognizing, and using your intention to shift away whatever energy you want. Again, if you guys want to check this out in blog form, it is linked below. You can always check out my website and check out all of my blogs that I have over there. Check out my spiritual playlist for all of my spiritual videos. If you guys have any questions, comments, or video topic requests, you can always leave it in the comments below my videos. I'm always happy to talk about whatever you guys want me to talk about.
Classic male.
Alright guys, we're gonna leave it there because it's really freaking hot outside and I'm sweating, and Flynn is all spread out and he's been antsy to, oh goodness, oh he's this.